What if one of Manchester United's most loyal servants isn't loyal anymore? A one-club man, a captain, a serial winner, a fan favourite. Yet today, Gary Neville might be one of the most frustrating voices for Manchester United fans to listen to. So what happened? How did a man who bled red for 20 years become someone accused of constantly criticising, doubting, and even distancing himself from the club he once represented? And the bigger question, is Gary Neville still a true red, or has he become something else entirely? Let's start where it all began. Gary Neville wasn't flashy, he wasn't quick, he wasn't technically gifted in the way modern fullbacks are. But what he was reliable. Week in, week out, season after season. Part of the famous class of 92, Gary went on to win 8 Premier League titles, 2 Champions Leagues and 3 FA Cups, amongst many more trophies. He captained Manchester United, he defied consistency, and for over a decade, he locked down that right-hand side. Yet despite all that, he was never widely accepted as the greatest right-back in Premier League history. Players like Cafu, Dani Alves, even modern names like Trent Alexander-Arnold get more praise. Neville? He was always labelled a limited, safe and system player. Even rival fans dismissed him, and that lack of respect didn't just come from fans, it came from sections of the media too. But here's the thing, Sir Alex Ferguson trusted him. Teammates relied on him, and Manchester United won everything with him. So maybe Neville wasn't spectacular, but he was essential. After retirement, Gary Neville reinvented himself, and to be fair, he was brilliant at first. Insightful, tactical and honest. He broke down the game in ways fans hadn't seen before. But then something started to shift, especially when it came to Manchester United. Instead of backing his club, Neville became one of the loudest critics, constantly highlighting problems, questioning players, calling out managers and overreacting to poor performances. And while some fans appreciate the honesty, others started asking, why is he always so negative about Manchester United? Why does it feel like he goes harder on United than rival clubs? Because let's be honest, when Liverpool struggle, when Arsenal collapse, when Chelsea fail, Neville critiques but really destroys. But with United, it often feels personal, intense, relentless, and for many fans, that doesn't sit right. Now here's where things get more complicated. Gary Neville didn't just stay in football. He stepped into politics openly. He spoke about inequality, workers' rights, government policies. He identifies with socialist values. And that's his right. But here's the contradiction critics point to. Gary Neville is also a multi-millionaire businessman. He owns hotels, property developments, and media ventures. So fans start to question, is this about genuine belief or about building a broader public image? Because once you step into politics, everything changes. You're no longer just a football man. You're a public figure trying to appeal to everyone, including rival fans. And suddenly, being openly supportive of Manchester United might not fit into his image. So instead of passion, you get neutrality or even criticism. And then there's the media side. Modern football thrives on one thing: attention. And Gary Neville knows that. Strong opinions, bold takes, viral clips. That's what drives engagement. But here's where it gets controversial. His connection to fan-driven media, including involvement with platforms like the UnitedStand, has raised eyebrows because those platforms often rely on emotional reactions, strong negativity and controversial opinions. And critics argue, is Neville feeding into that? Is he amplifying negativity around Manchester United because it works? Because outrage gets clicks, because criticism spreads faster than support. And if that's true, then the question becomes uncomfortable. Is he analysing United or using United? This is where the divide amongst fans really shows. On one side, he's honest. He says what others won't. On the other, he's forgotten what it means to represent a club. Because being a former player, especially one like Neville, comes with expectation. Fans don't want analysis, they want connection, they want loyalty, they want someone who feels like them. And then, when that disappears, it creates tension. So what is Gary Neville today? A truth teller, a critic, a businessman, a political voice, or something in between? Because here's the reality. You can be honest and loyal. You can criticize and support. But with Neville, many fans feel the balance is gone. So we're left with one question no one really wants to answer. Is Gary Neville still a true red? Or has he become someone who uses Manchester United as a platform for influence, for relevance, and maybe even for something bigger than football? And if that's the case, then what happens next? Because if Manchester United ever rise back to the top, will Gary Neville celebrate like he used to, or will he still be standing on the outside, watching, analysing, and keeping his distance? That answer might tell us everything.